are we waiting for?
We scoping the place out, man. We ain't gonna just run up in there. That's how you get shot.
Sailor again, you are. Wow. Ooh. Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely
Man, you
not.
don't know nothing about no war.
Everybody knows war. Ooh. Yeah. What it is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Good God, you are.
It ain't you all, it's y'all.
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 Man, you sound like a karate movie. Y'all.
Y'all.
Say it from right here with some soul. Y'all.
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 Let me show your goofy ass how to do this. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Yeah, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Come on, come on.
Giants fans, what is going on? Thank you for tuning in to an episode of Rush Hour. It is good to be back. Nikki, we haven't been together in a minute now on the show.
I know. I'm excited. Spartan Mush is here.
Spartan Mush is here. I got a new nickname last night.
Yes.
Lots of exciting things this past week. First of all, Nikki called Craig out for what he is, an old geezer yelling at the young ones to stay off his front yard. And I got a new nickname, Spartan Mush.
Yes. Spartan Mush. That was funny. I got to get that clip out to everybody because if you didn't watch the beginning of the show last night, you don't understand it. But Craig had like a Freudian slip. He went to say Spartan Mike and it came out Mush. And then Tuto just decided to recap everybody's nickname. And he said King Rush, Queen Rush, Prince Rush, which was Chris, and Spartan Mush, and it was
Spartan
just
Mush,
really funny.
The squire, if you will, the royal clown, whatever, the jokers. That's what it is. Yeah,
so I wanted to get T-shirts because I want to wear a Spartan Mush T-shirt.
There we go. We'll see how quickly those ones sell. I'd be a little embarrassed if they sold too fast, though. You know, it's like, oh man, that's getting out everywhere. But yeah, I checked my phone last night at 9:30. All of a sudden, I see Spartan Mush all over Twitter. I'm like, the hell's this?
Yes.
And lo and behold, I got a new nickname, and I'm going to roll with it. Spartan Mush, baby.
Yeah, no, you have to. I think it just, you know what? It was hysterical, and now you have to be Spartan Mush. So that's it.
But last night on the show, real quick, quick recap, Nikki.
Yes.
Odell Beckham argument, right? We can go back and forth. But then, you got a little fed up with Craig, didn't you? Why don't you explain what happened?
I did get fed up because it's like the Giants need a wide receiver, right? We desperately need our number one guy. And what I was trying to explain was that if the money was right, say it's about $8 million, would you take him? And I'm thinking, well, why not? Right? Of course we'll take OBJ. I would like to think he's a little bit more mature now, right? Usually that's what happens to your 30s. And, Chris was also trying to say, listen, he didn't really have these issues with the Rams. I know he got kicked off the plane, a couple months ago, but why would you not take Odell? And then Craig just went off about how he's a drama queen and he doesn't want him and he's a head case. And so there's like multiple parts to this argument. It's like 6 minutes long. I've only given you guys 2 clips. I'll drop the third one tonight. But I just went back at him because, it was kind of like he was being get off my lawn kind of guy. I mean, why would you not want Odell? He's a fantastic, dynamic route runner. He gets separation. We do not have that. And currently right now, we have a bunch of 2s and Waller, who will probably be the 1, which is what it looks like it's going to be. So we need the wide receiver help. If the money's right, why aren't you taking him?
I'm with you. At this point, A, short contract, B, we got to look for ways to add value. It's the bottom line here. But anyway, more to come out of that because I think it led to a few more generational spillovers in the New York Giants rush space. Of course, the age range, it goes from 20s to 60s, I think, here at New York Giants rush. So we're actually going to have a war. We're going to have an episode coming up, everybody. Where we're going to have, I will represent Gen Z. I just barely fit the mold. Nikki, you're gonna represent the millennials. Craig is obviously going to represent Gen X, and we are going to have Truth represent the boomers. And we are all going to go over different statements, philosophies, Giants trivia, everything like that. And we're going to see how we feel and if we line up eye to eye. And one of the questions we're going to raise again is if the Giants should sign Odell Beckham. I think it would be very wise.
You know what? Sometimes you got to come back at Craig. What I think was funny was that in these 6 minutes, nobody was budging on their view, which I thought was funny. Nobody was really like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna kind of like lay back and roll with it. So no, I mean, I'm gonna hold firm. Odell, I want him back.
There we go. And
That's
I don't blame you. Don't blame you one bit.
But you know what I really want? To win the Rush Hour NCAA bracket.
So talk about this NCAA bracket. And we gotta talk the whole bracket in general, right? All of March Madness going on.
I know. So let's run down. So I was like really upset for FDU, right? I mean, that first game, they're coming out of the gate. Did you watch any of the FDU game or no?
No, because I thought it would be a blowout.
You didn't watch it. Okay. All right. I know.
Look, my Michigan State Spartans got blown to smithereens twice by Purdue this year, so I didn't want to watch Purdue blow FDU to smithereens. But of course, Purdue can't beat New Jersey this year in basketball.
No, Jersey hoops. That's what it is. So we still got Princeton. Princeton's still alive. Let's run down. So Sweet 16, right? Michigan State versus Kansas State, Arkansas versus UConn.
Yes.
Florida.
Yeah. Right now, because I know he's a big NCAA bracket guy, and he's in our bracket right now.
Oh, right. Yeah, let's bring Courtney in. Yes.
Courtney, my apologies for the delay, but with no further ado, welcome to the show, Courtney.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Nick, thanks for the invite. What's up, Spartan
Mike? Thanks for coming on my show. I usually do your show. Everybody, my very good friend Courtney Harden in the house from The Real Deal with Courtney Harden. We became friends 3 years ago when I started this journey. So FYI, this week marks my 3rd year in the podcasting game. So it's been a wild and crazy ride, and Courtney has been there supporting me every step of the way, personally and professionally too, in my real job. This is not my real job, although you all think it is. So he's been an amazing friend. I'm happy to get him on my show. So Courtney and I have a little bit of a thing, right? So we're in the same fantasy football league. We do the Real Deal Fantasy League every year. And I'm like his kryptonite. Every time we're in a league together and we match up, it just loses to me, right? Courtney, are you losing to me in the Rush Hour bracket?
I think so. I haven't looked at the bracket. My bracket's been busted from the first day.
All right. Well, why don't you guys talk about the matchup so far, and I'm going to pull up the bracket and we'll go over the results.
Okay. Yeah, my bracket's been busted. So Arizona loses in the first game. So I had them in the final actually. So that's I got Houston winning the whole thing. So I still have a little bit, have something left on that. But Arizona's out. I got UConn. They're still in, and Marquette I had in the Final Four also. So that side with Marquette, and it's over. So I stopped even paying attention to the brackets after because it's been such a weird year with all these upsets. 2 number ones are already out early. Yeah, it's just a weird year.
Well, you're in 12.
And again, a 16 seed beat a 1 seed this year, which I mean, by the way, happened in 2018. So it's not like it hasn't happened recently, but I mean that's twice now in 70 years.
Right,
that's a rare event.
Very rare. I mean, when I saw that, I was like, okay. This happened for the second time in history of March Madness. It's ridiculous, but that's what it's called, Madness of March. That's what I call it. That's what we call it. So that's what it is. Always a lot of madness, and this year is a lot of madness. So I can't even. I love seeing it though. I can't complain about it. But the brackets are busted up.
They were busted right away. I mean, sometimes I get a good day out of it, and it was like. Right. I made it that night because I didn't have it for Rush Hour last week. I quickly made it. And then literally Thursday, I was like, okay, but my Final Four is still intact. So I've got Kansas, UConn. I got Kansas State. I got UConn, Alabama, and Houston. I got UConn winning it all. So I'm in second place in the Rush Hour bracket. And Courtney, you're tied for 12th with a few other people. So I am beating you again.
Again. See, you're my kryptonite. I can't
beat me.
Can't beat you in anything.
Get through Nikki. Nope.
So you go through you said the Fantasy Football League.
Yeah.
I've dominated the regular season both years. I have, been number one both years. Get to the playoffs, get a bye, and then for some reason that coming off that bye, I lose like every time. So I'm thinking to myself, I need to just scale back a little bit, maybe just barely scrape by, and maybe I can actually win the championship instead of having the number one target on my back every time. So, but I can't do that. That's not me.
Well,
nope.
hey, Courtney, I will say I actually do like your winner pick with Houston, because the one thing that a lot of people haven't really quite thought about is that the finals are in Houston, right? So if they get to the Final Four, they have a very good shot of just having complete home field advantage. Doesn't matter who they play.
Right. That was one of the main reasons I picked Houston. Also, if they stay healthy, they can get to the championship. But the way this bracket's been going, I don't know. I don't have any confidence anymore in anything. But I did have UConn in the Final Four. I thought they looking very strong on that side. And then, like I said, I thought Marquette was going to actually make a run too, but second round, it happened. So
what you're saying is you doubted my Michigan State Spartans?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
I did, because I never get them right. I never get Michigan State right. I either pick them to go far and they don't, or if I don't pick them, then they make it far. So they could actually have a good chance to get to the Elite Eight, Final Four too.
Well, now that you say that, I hope you pick against them every single year, knowing this is
You will.
I will. Yeah, I will.
So my senior year of college, we went to the Final Four. That was insane. We beat Zion Williams and Duke. I say we, not me personally. I didn't personally beat Zion Williams, but I watched my team do that.
Your team, yes.
Yeah. Your team. You invest time into it, yes.
Yeah, exactly. But my freshman year, we were a 15 seed that blew it to a 2 seed. Or I'm sorry, other way around. We were a 2 seed and blew it to Middle Tennessee State. We didn't even have the lead in that game. And I'm sure you picked the Spartans that year. So I need you to root against them every single year from now on.
I mean, they're such a storied franchise. So you have to, you always got to respect what they do and everything. And this wasn't one of their better teams coming into.
No, this is a relatively bad year.
Yeah, right. But now, like I said, you just got to win 6 games. And if you get hot at the right time, you can win the whole thing.
Well, if they win the next 2, I'm going to break the piggy bank and go to Houston. There's no doubt about it. I've already decided.
Are you? Yeah. Well, they're not. I can't have them. I need Kansas State to win so I can stay alive in the bracket, So sorry. We have to. Well, you know what? It's just, people who don't know, I am a Villanova fan. So it's just not the same without them in it, but that's okay. You know what? I'm going to root for UConn, and I'm going to root for the Princeton Tigers too. Little Princeton, got to root for the home team. Right.
And you're interesting. You say Villanova, and when the brackets came out, is some of the powerhouses. That's how I knew it was going to be like a real different type of March Madness. No Villanova, no Michigan.
Yeah.
There was a few teams, no Syracuse. So there was a lot of big schools that we normally see in the tournament all the time. They just, they didn't make it. So they had bad years themselves. So because you kind of knew it was going to be a really weird year for college basketball.
It's been weird. So Princeton's going to go up against Creighton. Do we think they got a shot?
I mean, they made it this far. Yeah, they definitely got a shot. I think I did. I think I picked Creighton in the Elite Eight. So hopefully that helps. And now you start gaining more points once you're in our brackets. Once you start getting to the Elite Eight, Final Four. So, but Princeton has a really good shot. The way they're brand of basketball, they can definitely get to at least the Elite Eight. So we'll see what happens. That they got this far, so they got a good shot to make it to the Final Four.
You got a good shot. Spartan, I'll for you, I'll want Michigan to win, but it's like, you're going up against one of my Final Four, so we know how competitive I am. I just, I don't know. What else?
Did you pick Kansas State?
I did. They're in my Final
Four. Wow, I picked K-State to the 16. I did get that, put them against the 16, but then losing. But man, that's if they get there. Hey, you need to play the lottery all the time.
Yeah, because I'm pretty damn good, right, Courtney? I mean, I'm pretty damn good, all right? Somebody who can vouch for me for 3 years. I'm not new to this. Although, if you look at some of the comments I get, you would think I'm brand new to, Nikki, you know nothing.
Don't worry about them comments. They're jealous. They're hating. So you do your thing. Keep doing what you do. Because you do tremendous, yes.
Got a lot of haters. So you know what else I don't know about? Lamar Jackson. Does anybody know if Lamar's mom is actually calling teams and saying, he's out in Baltimore. He doesn't want to be there? They may know this is true. He said this is crazy, but is it crazy because she negotiated his rookie deal? So I feel like if she was calling on his behalf, that wouldn't be the craziest thing, would it?
No, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, his mother represents him. I don't know. Is she his agent? Is she just someone that's in the negotiating room when they do these negotiations? But I had read it was somebody else calling these teams, another family member. It wasn't even his mother. It was another family member calling these teams, and the teams are like they're just hanging up on him. Like, you're not even an agent or anything like a representation of this. So the story gets crazier and crazier. But Lamar Jackson, he's just sitting back because he's not really making any comments either. He's just thinking, I just want to get paid, and he deserves to be paid. But it is hard to. He represents himself, or his mother representing him, for him to get a big contract. And Baltimore just needs to pay him. Just pay him what he's worth, and let's get on. This is one of the top 5-7 quarterbacks in the league. You need to pay him. A former MVP, you gotta pay him. And now he wants Deshaun Watson money. He wants that type of money. Is he going to get it? I don't know, but I mean, you got to pay him something. Got to pay him a high dollar amount just to. I mean, not to disrespect Daniel Jones, he got a lot of money. So Lamar Jackson is, much better. He should definitely get some money. I didn't want to throw shots at the Giants already, but
you're being like to be honest. Right?
Courtney's an Eagles fan. Let's just let everybody know.
Yes. I am an Eagles fan through and through. Yes,
a realistic Eagles fan. He's probably one of the most realistic Eagle fans, just like as the NFC East as a whole. Yeah,
that's all right. I mean, look, you do. I mean, you're right. He's better than Daniel Jones, right? I have no problem saying that. It would be kind of foolish if I wasn't acknowledging that.
Right.
The one thing with the agent calling, or one of his family members calling the organizations, how'd they get the phone numbers? Trust me, I'd like to get the Giants organization phone number. I have a few things to say about the past 10 years of football.
The hotline to John Mayer. Well, let me ask you guys this question. So this year, the NFL implemented their, we don't want you to negotiate with a representative who's not certified by the NFLPA, right? After the Roquan Smith deal and the Tunsil deal that was negotiated by, a non-official representative. So this year, their teams are not supposed to do that. So if his mom's calling, or his mom's friend, or his aunt, or whoever, and they're not certified, does that mean the league looks at this as like tampering?
Never thought of it that way. It could be, especially if it's someone that doesn't have any credentials to be calling these teams and saying, we want Lamar Jackson. He wants to move on from Baltimore, calling other teams, especially he doesn't have the proper representation. I like the one comment it said on here that, from personal experience, my mom butts into business, sign of desperation. But you should separate that family from business. Like that's where I think it's getting dicey for Lamar Jackson. We have players that don't have an agent. We've seen that, but if he gets the right representation, maybe he gets that big contract. But I think this is part of it that's hurting him too, not having that. And if this family is doing this and calling all these other teams, teams are not going to take them. They're not going to take it seriously.
No, they're not. Spartan, is Lamar Jackson a Raven next year?
I think there's about a 50% chance that he comes back. In all honesty, I think he will be willing to test the market if the Ravens do not agree to a number. And I think the Ravens are kind of looking at it like, the reason that obviously people aren't jumping at the phone right now is because, not only do you got to sign him to a big number, I think there's trade implications too, right? So they got to give up picks. That always makes it a little bit more challenging. It's not like Tom Brady where he walked from New England and any team could have signed him for whatever number he asked for. And the thing with Lamar is he is a great quarterback. For that kind of money, though, you want to know that you're getting that consistent Patrick Mahomes type play. And Lamar Jackson did have that the first couple of years. Later, last year and a half, there's that injury mix. And you just want to be damn sure that you have an elite quarterback and he's going to be elite the whole way through. And I have a feeling, look, I love Lamar. I feel like he will do it probably. but there's a lot of implications and risk there that I would not be surprised if the Ravens themselves say, you know what, we're moving on. We just can't agree to that. But trust me, somebody is going to be calling for Lamar at some point. I guarantee you that. There's no way 32 teams, all of them are looking at it and saying, that's what we have to pay Lamar. Let's make it happen.
Well, if the Aaron Rodgers Jets deal falls through, do the Jets go for this like pie in the sky, trade and sign for Lamar?
I'll go real quick. Look, the Jets are so talented right now that I actually think that they can afford to give up future picks. So I wouldn't blame the Jets for doing it.
I agree. I think if, like you said, if this Aaron Rodgers, if he's still in a dark hole somewhere, wherever he is, and wherever he is, I mean, they said that could be like one of those, like, oh, it's a Christmas gift. Oh, we get Lamar Jackson. Oh, the Jets are in a good position. That's the thing. They're in a good position to get a quarterback. There's other teams like the Colts that have heard their name ringing, and then, Atlanta Falcons, they talk about that too. But
yeah,
I mean, Lamar, he's got options. It's just more of, who's willing to pay. And they're going to get a boatload for Lamar Jackson, Baltimore is. I mean, they're going to get like 3-4 first, a second. They probably want players, compensation.
Oh, yeah.
They want all these things. And, and another red flag from Lamar is the injuries. Like that's like you said, it's one of those things. Like if you're going to get Lamar Jackson, can he stay healthy? Because the last 2 years he hasn't been healthy. But when he's out there, he wins. He's dynamic. He's one of the best players in the league. I say teams like a Colts or the Jets take that risk and go get Lamar Jackson.
I just want to give a shout out to Jor-El. He is finally here in the chat, in the house. And football talk, I definitely agree. He says, I think there's a little bit of a pushback from owners trying to slow down the guaranteed money. And I kind of agree with that. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes, I do. And I think that's what's holding a lot of these. But the players want that guaranteed money. So they got to get back to the bargaining table and say, look, we want guaranteed money. We want as much as we can get. And they saw that Deshaun Watson deal, which was one of those it was a different franchise. The Cleveland Browns were desperate. They just said, we're just going to pay Deshaun Watson no matter what his baggage is. We're just going to pay him all this money. So teams are looking at it like, well, if he's getting all this money, look at Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow's coming up next.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is coming up.
Yeah.
So they're probably thinking, owners are like, we can't pay $200 million in guaranteed money, So, but I definitely agree with football talk. I think there's a lot of pushback from owners not wanting to pay these quarterbacks all this guaranteed money.
Cleveland is always screwing things up, like no matter what. Like they just can't get anything right. And now you've screwed up the quarterback position.
And Russ, real quick, I mean, Russell Wilson's another one they look at too, where it's like, holy crap, all that, and then you still had a 5-win season. And again, it's not to say that Russ isn't a good quarterback, but you look at kind of what happens there. We don't really have everything else in place. I mean, it almost seems like the NFL is getting to a point where they're thinking you add a great quarterback and all of your problems just go away. That's not necessarily the case. The Buccaneers were different because they already had a pretty good team in place. And then, of course, once Brady got there, all these players were willing to take a bunch of discounts to just play there. That factors into it too. But I mean, the Broncos were so dysfunctional last year.
Oh, my God. They were the most disappointing team. I mean, because that defense was so good. They're such a young, good, talented defense. But that offense now, I think a lot of that, as we see with the Giants, what good coaching can do. I think a lot of that was Nathaniel Hackett. Now you have Sean Payton over there in Denver. I think we're looking at a completely different, offensive look here, completely different team. But to your point, Spartan, it's like they think that these quarterbacks are like plug and play. I mean, let's talk about the Jets and Aaron Rodgers. I hate talking about Aaron Rodgers because I think he's a drama queen, but are they an Aaron Rodgers away? I mean, they have a lot of talent. They've made like major strides, but I mean, Spartan, we hear this shit all the time about the Jets. Are they just Aaron Rodgers away from winning it all?
You know what they have to do? They have plenty of talent in different positions, cornerback, O-line. Like they do have a lot of talented players. It's not the problem. They still have a lot of holes though, and I'm not even talking about like areas where they don't have an incredible player. They still have a few gaps where it's like they literally have, sandbags there, like nobody that's actually worth anything. And I feel like they do have to solidify that, but that's much easier than trying to, add explosive players at high impact positions. So Are they a quarterback away? No, but if you add Aaron Rodgers, you add Lamar Jackson, I would argue that they're undoubtedly a playoff team, and likely a division winner for the AFC East. I'm sorry, the Bills are a little ahead of them, so that might be a little challenging there, but they're getting there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think if they got Aaron Rodgers, that puts them in a great position to make a run, but it's still, like I said, I still think it's the Buffalo Bills ahead of them, even with Aaron Rodgers. And you can't count out. If you're going to go from the AFC, you still can't count out Cincinnati with Joe Burrow either, or Patrick Mahomes. I mean,
that guy.
Yeah, that guy that beat my Eagles. Yeah, that guy.
That's right. We haven't done a show together since the Super Bowl, right?
Right. Yes. I've been hiding a little bit from
football
talk, but for a while. But they had that guy, that bad guy, Patrick Mahomes. But the Jets would be a legitimate contender with Aaron Rodgers. But the thing is, with Aaron Rodgers, he's willing to work with the receivers. Like he got a young core receivers there. He didn't like working with them in Green Bay.
And they didn't like working with him.
And they didn't like working with him because, as Nikki said, he's a diva. So he's
worse
like,
than me.
Yeah. So I agree with the comments that he has a small window, 2 to 3 years, maybe. Aaron Rodgers can still play at a high level. He's just coming off, 2 years ago being MVP back to back. So, he still has a talent. And he'll have a lot of talent around with the Jets, but the AFC is still a gauntlet to get through. So they'll be a contender, but I don't think they would win the Super Bowl if they fill up all the holes that you said. So
sure,
yeah, I think that they'll probably win the playoffs, but the AFC is stacked. It's not like the NFC where you got like a handful of really good teams, and for the most part, it's more of a easier path there to victory unless you're the Eagles. Wah, wah, wah. Courtney, did they still celebrate? Like, what did they do? Like,
they didn't celebrate. Everybody was we hear nothing out in the streets, frustration. And then you didn't hear anything. I went to work the next day and everybody was down and out.
I would have needed the day off.
It was brutal. It was so brutal. Good thing we work from home. So I saw we had a meeting and everybody was just like somber and quiet and everything. So no, we did not celebrate at all.
I celebrated.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah, we did. I won't lie.
We celebrated. We were. I have never rooted for the Chiefs so hard in my life.
I took the day off the next day. I won't lie.
Did you? Why?
Why? Well, we hosted the Super Bowl, so I had to help clean, but I also just wanted to. I needed it in case the Eagles did win, and I had to sit there in depression.
I would have been really depressed. I mean, this is how seriously it takes sports, right? So for you guys who don't know, my sister, her husband, their kids, they're all Eagles fans, right? And it's just like a little Super Bowl party, whole family goes over, and I'm just like, no, I can't go. Like I just cannot subject myself to this. No, see, thank you. So, just some games you just got to watch like in private and with certain people.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't think I'll be watching. And some of my friends are Eagles fans. So back in the day when we worked together and stuff, we would go to Chicky and Pete's and watch Giants Eagles. And I was like, never again am I doing that. That was brutal. So you guys are Courtney, you're a cool fan, but some of that fan base is a little.
It would be nice if you. Oh, go ahead. My bad, Nick. I cut you off.
No, I was just gonna say they're just like they're rough. They're brutal.
They can be brutal. Yes, but Eagles fans can be brutal.
It would be nice if the Giants could actually freaking beat the Eagles for once. I mean, good God Almighty! The last 15 years of this rivalry has not even been a rivalry.
No,
you guys must look at us on this schedule and just be like, all right, 2 easy wins.
But to beat a team 3 times is tough. And even going into that playoff game, the Eagles were like, okay, we're getting healthy. We're going to go on this run. I just think the Giants ran into a buzzsaw with the Eagles in that third game, the playoff game. And once the Eagles jumped ahead, I was like, yeah, it's going to be over quickly. And, it was. But, it's one of those things, the Eagles is just – they had a great season. They had a real great season and just wasn't able to finish the deal, couldn't stop the Chiefs at all. So –
Well, they're a tough team to stop anything, right? Andy
Yeah.
Reid's a fantastic coach. I mean,
Yes.
Kansas City I talk about plug and play. It almost doesn't matter who goes there. They're just going to be a contender all the time. So let's get to our free agency fantasy frenzy. Now, I didn't pick every single free agency signing that happened, but we'll go through some, and you guys tell me how you think this is going to impact the fantasy season. Yay, nay, indifferent, neutral, whatever.
Okay.
Spartan, is our other guest here yet or no?
He is. Evan is in the back room.
Let's go.
Evan, what is going on, brother?
What's up? I apologize for the background. I do a horror movie.
What is going on?
I do a horror movie review podcast too as well. So I keep this as my background. Yeah.
Oh, Evan, you need we to reel you back into sports. What is going on here?
I do all kinds of things. What's up, Courtney? How's it going, man?
Good, man. How you doing? It's been a minute.
I'm doing good. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah.
Do you guys know
now you gotta tell us what movie you're watching.
So we're reviewing Scream 6. So that'll be our review.
Okay.
So which I saw over the weekend.
Who's we? Who's your co-host?
My co-host is actually my sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's the name of the podcast?
It is Come Play With Us, Danny. So if you've ever seen The Shining, the two little girls in the hallway go, "Come play with us, Danny. Come play with us." Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we're happy to have you on the sports side of it. Are you getting lost here? You need
I'm not getting lost. I'm good because I was listening to the Lamar chat before coming on, and I will say this: Lamar's got so many options to go with. I know like Colts are in play, even the Vikings are in play now, even the Texans are in play to land Lamar Jackson. I think it's just a matter of time of who's willing to pay him the money, and also I think teams are willing to give up the draft picks. I just think it's the contract thing is the teams are really kind of wary about. I saw some tweets the other day about Lamar is actually doesn't really care at this point. He doesn't really even want a guaranteed contract. He just wants to be out of Baltimore, and he wants out, and he just wants to get paid and go to a good situation that's going to be able to have him win. And then the Aaron Rodgers.
Why does he want out of Baltimore though? Because I mean, to me, playing in Baltimore would be ideal. They equip him pretty good there, and they're pretty good at analyzing talent to surround him with. Right?
You know, to be honest with you, I've been saying this for the past couple of years. There's a reason why Baltimore has not gotten a deal done with him. There's got to be some kind of reason why they are just
2 years we're on this now, right? 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. I've been saying this for a while. It's like they should have been paid. He should have been paid 2 years ago with a massive deal, and it hasn't been done yet. So there's got to be some kind of reason why nothing has been done. And now we're to the point where the relationship between team and QB is so bad. It's just like, look, let's break even now. We can go our separate ways, and you guys can focus on the future. I can go focus on my career, which is still, look, I'm 27 years old. I'm still in the prime of my career right now. I can focus on going to a team that they're going to load talent around, because look, you got to look at it this way, guys. Baltimore has never really given him a number one wide receiver. They've given him like tier 2, tier 3 guys to throw to. All he has is Mark Andrews. His running back core is always hurt, and they don't bring in a big back for him. So I think it's time for them to part ways, and just he's got to move on with his life and go on to a better situation, where there are a lot of better situations out there right now that are quarterback needy. So it's just a matter of time until a team is just going to be like, look, I expect the deal with him to get done draft day, and probably Aaron Rodgers going to the New York Jets situation to be done by draft day, because that's the deadline. So everything's got to be wrapped up. So I would expect those two guys to be in their new prospective teams draft day, because of course ratings, you got to have ratings too. You
got to have ratings. You know who I'm excited is on a new team? Darren Waller. Go ahead. No, you can start, because you disagree.
Listen,
and this show came together because you two decided that you were going to.
I'm going to put the glasses on for this.
Go ahead.
So I've got
I look sophisticated.
I've got Darren Waller's stats up. So the past couple of years, Darren Waller has only had, and this is 2021, 79 points. 2022, 57 total points. His ranking in the tight end position has been 18 and then 24. So he's had a regressed past 2 years. Mm-hmm. And that's because of injuries, of course. But now, listen, I didn't say he was going to be not effective in the Giants offense. I'm just saying he's not going to be a fantasy impact type of tight end anymore.
He is.
No,
he is.
I disagree.
He is. Oh, now the glasses come off.
The glasses are coming off. I just think with the history with Daniel Jones and his, how do I say this, lack thereof relationship with any kind of tight end. Now I know Evan Ingram was there, but like it's just he's Daniel Jones is not the type of guy that's going to light up a tight end that much.
All
okay,
right.
not like Derek Carr did in Las Vegas and Oakland with Darren Waller. I think he's going to be a great addition to the weapons that Daniel Jones have.
Okay,
but he's not going to have the amount of touches that everybody wants him to have because of the injuries now, because he's been injured the past couple of seasons and his production has gone way down. And look at the position rankings at. He's out of the top 20. He's out of the top 20.
All right. Let me give you my side, and then
okay,
we're
please
let
do.
Courtney and Spartan decide, what's going to go on here. So I think that he is going to get a lot of targets because I don't really know the Giants are going to get that number one guy. As we said in the beginning of the show, they have a bunch of twos, so it looks like Waller is going to be the number one target. Giants are ranked 31st in explosive pass plays. He's going to open up that offense. He has always been able to deliver on explosive plays. He racked up 52 explosive catches over the last 4 seasons, 22 total during his injured seasons too. All right, his success comes from what? Crossing routes, right? That's because some of these linebackers can't keep up with Waller. So this is a perfect matchup because Jones targets crossers at the 3rd highest rate in the NFL at 16.9%. So he's going to fit into this offense. Waller averaged 2.2 yards per route, which is the 4th most among tight ends. He's only behind Kittle, Andrews, and Kelsey. Waller has 50 receptions on crossing routes that are the 3rd highest mark against tight ends. And we've got Kafka, who worked with Kelsey. Brian Dable turned Dawson Knox into a production machine. Evan, you're wrong. This is going to be a dynamic fantasy duo. Okay, Courtney, Spartan, who's right?
Nikki, I'm going to have to go with you. Come on now. I mean, first of all, look, you're dealing with a guy that, he has a history of injuries. Doesn't mean he's going to be injured forever. He just had 2 back-to-back injuries, and neither of them are so insufferable that he can't recover from them. That's the first part. The second part of it is, I mean, to Nikki's point, Jones does not have a true number one receiver. He might be the leading reception guy for the Giants this year. So you got to think about that. So I definitely expect him to ball out this year.
All right, Courtney, what say you?
I gotta agree with Nikki too. I have to, man, on this one. But my thing is too, yes, if he's healthy and he is their number one receiver, which he probably will be, he will be productive. Because Daniel Jones might have to just dump it to him and keep dumping it to him. Like you say, he's going to be the reception. He might not get a lot of yards, but he's going to have a lot of receptions.
Yeah.
So, and they don't get a number one receiver, he will be their big body number one receiver. So
he will be outside the top 10, and he will be injured twice this coming season.
Not get the wheel. Evan, get the wheel from channel side, okay? Because you have me wearing wigs, doing edibles, taking shots. You guys have no idea the things I had to do on Sunday, okay?
I mean, there is a reason why you were last place for Pick'em. So I mean, fantasy advice, I don't know, Nikki. I mean,
Nikki, you're making us look bad. What the hell?
No, hold on. Mine against the spread was really good. My Giants betting record was really good, and Courtney will tell you how good I am at fantasy.
But listen, I'm not disagreeing that he won't be effective in the offense. He will be effective because he is pretty much a true number one now because they really have nothing else. I know. Didn't you guys just re-sign Darius Slayton?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so he's there. He's going to be there too as well. And of course, Barkley's going to eat up a lot. So I just fantasy. I'm looking at it as a fantasy perspective. He's going to finish outside of the top 10 because there's going to be so many other options to draft. I mean, you could draft him if you can draft him. Draft him if he's there. Draft him. But I don't trust Waller anymore. Being that Waller we saw on the Raiders, especially now he's on the Giants. So
okay, all right. Well, it's gonna be stuck to be you and you're wrong. You have to come back on the show. So
listen. If I'm wrong, I will eat the old crow and I will come back and say I'm wrong. But I'm just
drink the hot sauce.
We appreciate that because not everybody does that.
I will, trust me. Especially when it comes to fantasy stuff, I'm usually right, but I will come back and say I'm wrong. So it's
I'm gonna hold you to it.
Yeah, trust me.
About this one. All right, Courtney, Miles Sanders to the Panthers. Thank freaking God, right, Spartan? Thank God.
Yes.
Out of the NFC East. Woo! I could like breathe a little bit. No more career days against us. But he had his best season with the Eagles. He finished with 279 touches, 1,347 total yards, 11 TDs, not all from Giants. Okay. And he catches 71% of his targets. All signs are pointing to him to be the primary back there. I think fantasy wise, probably good. The Panthers are like coming swinging out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles didn't use him properly over the last couple of years till this past season.
Yeah.
So when Miles Sanders gets the ball, he can be productive. If he's the number one, he's going to be the number one primary back there in Carolina. Yes, I see him being a. If I go through rankings and through my head, he's probably top 12 to 15 running back, fantasy wise.
Spartan, yay, nay, indifferent.
I'm gonna say yay on that one.
Okay. Evan, you disagree? Probably.
No, I don't disagree. I think.
Of course not.
Jeez, guy.
He will be a PPR machine, especially in that offense. This really kind of depends on who are they going to draft as their QB coming up in the 2023. It just kind of depends on who are they going to get and how they're going to really shape that offense behind. Because if you're going to get a guy like CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, you got a running quarterback now. So that maybe takes a little bit away from Miles Sanders. So I'm always a little bit cautious when it comes to drafting a running back on a new team that's got a brand new, Frank Reich isn't really a brand new head coach, but he's brand new to this team. And then now you're going to have a brand new franchise, shiny new rookie quarterback that you're going to throw in there. So I would throw caution into the winds about drafting Miles Sanders pretty high. If you're PPR, I mean, obviously he's going to be good in PPR, but I would be cautious with him because of the brand new system that this whole team is being revamped on. So he'll be effective, but I throw caution at it.
All right. Here's one that I really like. DJ Moore to the Bears. Now I think this duo is going to be up and down for the first few weeks, but I think by week 7, 8, they're really going to get it together, and you're going to be very happy to have one or both of them on your team. Spartan, yay, nay?
Can you repeat the question one more time? I got my phone was going off there. I had to go on silent.
DJ Moore to the Bears. Justin Fields, DJ Moore. Do you like that?
Oh yeah, that's going to really equip Fields there to kind of take that step forward. He's a very talented quarterback. And listen, I do think that, I mean, when teams have that first round pick and they actually don't need that quarterback, it's very, very good situation for them to really, because you trade back and you get all that talent, right? So I think the Bears are going to be heavily improved within the next couple of years as long as they don't make any stupid decisions with their draft picks.
Yeah, well, Courtney, you like that fantasy matchup?
I do like that. I do. I think the Bears, what they've done over free agency, just in general, they're trying to go like they're really building. And I do like that for DJ Moore over on Chicago. And it's all they can do is just get better. Like you said, hopefully they don't screw it up. But, the Bears organization have a history of screwing things up, but they had a lot of cap space. They've used a lot of it too. So they filling out holes and they still got draft picks too. So I really like DJ Moore over in Chicago.
We can't actually, Courtney, we shouldn't be talking about what we let. We have to go up against each other.
I know, right?
And I'm always picking right before you and swiping you. And always happens that way. Always happens that way. What do you guys think of Juju Smith to the Patriots?
You skipped me. You skipped me about what
We're
I thought.
We're moving on to the Patriots. Okay. Do you like DJ Moore?
Actually, who I like this more for is Darnell Mooney. Because this takes a little bit off of him, and now you have a big target like DJ Moore. This opens up a lot for Darnell Mooney. So if you have him in your dynasty leagues right now, that his stock is going to go way up because the focus now on this offense is going to be that big target DJ Moore. I think what the Bears are doing, and Courtney, I agree with you. I think they're making some moves. They're doing the right thing. And Spartan, I agree with you too. As long as they don't screwed up in draft day, then I think the Bears could be set up for a very long time if they do the right draft picks and do this well. They've got so much cap space still left to play with. You can go out and even get even more weapons behind you. So great move for Justin Fields. He's got a true number one in DJ Moore, but its stock is going up for Darnell Mooney.
Spartan, a true number 1 wide receiver. If
what I would do for one of those.
What I would do for one, man. I really, really, really love that. You know what? In Chicago, I miss Jay Cutler's just like attitude of I don't care. Like, but think about how great of a quarterback he could have been if he actually gave a rat's ass.
Like if he actually cared about just being like decent
a little bit,
He's a human being first. How about that?
Just a little bit. What do you guys think? Juju Smith-Schuster to the Patriots. It ain't the Chiefs offense, but I guess he's gonna be a top target for Mac Jones. Evan, yay, nay?
I'm in the middle with this one because of Mac Jones, and Mac Jones had a really bad down year last year, mostly because he had a defensive coordinator as his offensive coordinator. Matt Patricia was his OC. So now you bring in Bill O'Brien, which is going to help out a lot with that offense. So this could be this has boom or bust potential to it. So I'm like in the middle of this.
Spartan, you like it? For
no, I'm calling it a bust. I mean, look, Evan, you were talking about earlier how DJ Moore going to the Bears like opens up their receiving core a little bit. The only reason Juju had any productivity in Kansas City, in my belief, is that there's so many weapons there that it kind of opened up his opportunity to go against the slot corners, right?
New England, they have nothing.
They have nothing. Their quarterback really sucks. Nothing. I mean, he's going to miss Patrick Mahomes.
Mac Jones is terrible. Courtney, that's a little adjustment for him, right?
Yes, he's gonna really miss that guy. That guy, Patrick Mahomes, which I think going into last season, people forgot who that guy was. So he had to prove, I am still that guy. But I agree. I agree with Mike. I don't think it's gonna be that much of an impact for Juju because I don't know what has happened to him since Pittsburgh. I mean, he's the TikTok guy.
He's not doing his dances anymore.
As AJ Brown called him TikTok guy or whatever. But it's one of those things. It's like you had Patrick Mahomes, you had an okay year last year, and now you're going to see Mac Jones. And normally when you go to New England, that's wide receiver hell in a way too. In a way, there's nobody's hardly ever productive since Randy Moss. So I don't know. I mean, he will be the number 1 target, but I don't really enjoy that offense. And
the Patriots could also go and sign Lamar and make a trade.
Yeah, they can
bring Lamar in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Belichick and Lamar.
Get yourself some Lamar, then go get yourself some DeAndre Hopkins. Having Lamar and DeAndre Hopkins.
Patriots. Shut your mouth. The Giants are in play for D-Hop.
D-Hop. Yeah.
Just shush over there. All right, couple more, and then I want to get to a fun segment. Hopefully we have time. Brandon Cooks to the Cowboys. I hate this as a Giants fan. Spartan, this just has career day against the Giants.
I just feel exactly. I'm with you. It's always kind of like those good, not fantastic receivers that ball out against us. So I mean, I don't like the move, but I like it. Like if I were a Cowboys fan, I'd like the move because
you like it for fantasy.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely a good fantasy guy, no doubt.
You guys like it? Evan, Courtney?
I like it a lot. Brandon Cooks is that Mr. Reliable when it comes to PPR formats because he just gets touches all the time and somehow he gets 1,000-yard seasons, even when he was on the Houston Texans where there was like nobody that was throwing to him. He was getting thrown to by 3 different guys. So I love this. I think it's a great move for them. It really opens up a lot for CeeDee Lamb, and then you have Brandon Cooks on the other side. So this could be scary for the Dallas offense.
Oh, so, great. Yeah, the 3 of us don't want to hear this.
Great. But it does open up a lot, for with CeeDee Lamb and Dak needs that other weapon. And that's what was the Cowboys were lacking was that second receiver, consistent second receiver. And when Brandon Cooks is right and healthy, he is very productive, like Evan said. Like every time I see him, it's like when you draft him or anything, it's like, wait, Brandon Cooks, he's still available? Like, what? Somebody pick him up. Pick him up. But yeah, I can see playing with a better quarterback and Dak Prescott. I think that helps his stock, helps Dak's stock too, and opens up for CeeDee Lamb. So I agree. I think so yay.
Yeah. So maybe the Cowboys fans will stop complaining because I don't understand.
They never will. They never will.
Oh, Dak didn't have any talent.
Talent's never their issue. The Cowboys are always talented, but they're more like an all-star team. They're kind of like your county all-star team where you have a bunch of talent, but like they don't actually gel. They don't click. They don't have strategic game plans.
They almost sound like the LA Lakers right now.
Yeah, they just kind of go through the motions.
Like when NBA players just call up their friends, hey, let's all go to this team and win a championship. And they suck because there's no chemistry and they can't play together. And they all have egos and they all want to be number one. Yeah, it doesn't.
Cowboys are the Cowboys. They always they get you all like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, an accident waiting to happen. That's what they are.
Exactly.
That's a good way to put it. All right.
The Cowboys are like that little kid in class who goes, pick me all the time. Nobody just
wants to pick the Cowboys.
Pick me.
Last one, and then we're going to move on to me being petty. Okay, Baker Mayfield to the Bucks. Evan, this is for you. Take it away.
Oh yeah. So funnily enough, I was talking about this last year when the Bucks were looking for a backup or somebody to succeed Tom Brady. If this is before the first retirement, like, hey, who's going to be taking over the reins when he possibly retires after the Super Bowl or the NFC Championship? And his name kept coming up, like Baker Mayfield, because I think Baker gets a lot of flack and a lot of I think he has never really been in the right system. Obviously, he had limited success in Cleveland where he took them to the playoffs first time in I don't know how many years, won a playoff game, and then, gets shipped over to Carolina, gets benched, and then all of a sudden he goes to LA and he has like a pretty good second half of the season. So I thought this was a great move for the Bucks. It was either out of him or Jacoby Brissett, and I was like, hey, you know what? Why don't we bring Baker? Baker's coming into a pretty good system right now because he's got two great wide receivers. He's got Mike Evans. He's got Chris Godwin. He's got a good rushing attack behind him with Rashad Evans. And I think Zeke has been mentioned to be signed by the Bucks too. But now they've got a good rushing attack. So the offensive line is now back and healthy. So this could be, high risk. It's a high risk, but it's probably like a big reward for the Bucks if this pans out, because look, they're in the NFC South where you have Derek Carr, you have a question mark in Carolina, and then you have Desmond Ridder at Atlanta, who's going to be playing a full season. So the NFC South is wide open. So I think this for money saving and for the amount of money that they have, I think this is a good pickup for the Bucks because look, he has experience and he's going to be there to compete for the number one job. So it's his job to lose. So I think this is good.
Spartan, you like it? Fantasy-wise, you like it?
Fantasy-wise, I hate it. No,
fantasy-wise, I hate it.
Fantasy-wise, I hate it. Real life, yes.
Some just screams 5-11 or 5-12. It's not going to be worth anything.
It's a no for Spartan. Courtney, what about you?
It's a no for me. I mean,
no for Courtney.
It's Baker Mayfield. It's almost like this is his last chance, and I agree with Evan. Like at this point, it's like, okay, you got another chance. It's kind of like a Carson Wentz situation. It's like, oh, how many chances can you get? And you keep getting starting quarterback positions. I know all about Carson Wentz, and you get all these, you get all these chances. Like you say, he's in a good situation. If he can't do it there, he might be a backup after this. But for fantasy purposes,
XFL, if you
can XFL,
he sends everybody to the XFL. Go ask him on Twitter, like, hey, where's this guy going to end up? XFL.
Fantasy wise, I think for Baker, he's good to be a backup QB in your leagues, but I just don't like it fantasy wise. Like Mike Evans is going to take a hit fantasy wise. Chris Godwin, real life it might work out. Fantasy wise, not so much.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on. We got a couple minutes left, and I want to be a little bit petty. Me and Spartan Mush going to be a little bit petty here. So I got into it on Monday night on New York Giants Rush against Craig, the host, who, listen, Giants need a number one wide receiver. Odell Beckham is available. If the money's right, I don't understand why you don't go for him, right? So we get into this little argument. It's a 6-minute argument. I've been chopping up the clips to kind of give you guys a picture of it because I know nobody's going to watch 6 whole minutes, God forbid. So my point was, a lot of wide receivers are dramatic. And, he was saying, well, he's going to be riding Daniel Jones. I'm open. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Well, they're all like that. And the entire league is filled with dramatic players. So I'm just going to run down a list of very dramatic NFL players that I think are probably a little more dramatic than Odell Beckham Jr. Aaron Rodgers. This is no particular order, by the way. I didn't rank them. Aaron Rodgers, Chad Ochocinco, Terrell Owens, Brett Favre, Le'Veon Bell, Jay Cutler, Randy Moss, Antonio Brown, Keyshawn Johnson, Jerry Jones is more dramatic than Odell Beckham Jr. Jalen Ramsey, Deion Sanders, Richard Sherman, Michael Irvin, Tom Brady, Cam Newton, Vontaze Burfict, Ray Lewis. Anybody? Thoughts? Yay? No?
I don't think Tom Brady should be on the list.
Tom Brady.
He never really gave off the diva vibe.
Really?
Oh, he's got a little bit of an arrogance. There's no doubt.
Arrogance, yes. Diva, no.
And kind of like that insecurity, arrogance, almost, if you will. Like he's still upset that he was like a 6th-round pick. I couldn't imagine caring once I have 7 Super Bowls, but whatever.
Yeah, he carried that chip on his shoulder for 23 years.
He got divorced over it.
Yeah,
right.
I seriously do think it actually led to the problems. Like, hey, you haven't been home around Christmas in 17 years. Well, I got to work hard. Got to keep it going.
I like the Deion Sanders. I don't know, man. Deion Sanders had swag more than he was a diva. He had the swag.
I agree. He never really upset or pissed anyone off.
Yeah. Right? Well, except he only pissed off Cowboys fans. I mean, that's that's. And if you listen, if you can play 2 sports at one time and go from like a playoff game while playing for the Braves and then go and play football like the same day, you can have that kind of
got a home run and a touchdown the same week one time.
Yeah, you can do that. So I would say Deion would be off that list. Everybody else, they're pretty much divas.
All right, Courtney, what do you think? Add anybody to it? Take it off?
No, I agree. I think Deion was more flash.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just that good. So he just was. He had some arrogance to him, still does.
Yeah,
and deservedly so. And that's. Yeah. But I like the list. I think T.O. he was my quarterback.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence about Chad Ochocinco because he was more of a jokester than anything.
Okay,
and like he may have started off as a diva, but then he kind of morphed into this like jokester type.
But he's still a distraction, right? That was kind of the whole point of saying like, well, Odell's doing this stuff on the sideline too. Oh, he didn't do anything more than.
Right. And real quick, for the record, Nikki, I mean, it wasn't even that. Like the base of the argument wasn't even like the price is right? If they were disagreeing on like the price for Odell, Nikki, and Craig the other night, the argument was just Odell, period, being back on the team, right? And Craig was just completely anti that. I'm like, look, the money works out. I have no problem with him being back. I don't care.
I think this would be a good thing for the Giants, but he's got to be humble now, He has to be humble, and he's got to know he's not going to like command the big time money that he's used to commanding.
Yeah, he's not going to get $20 million a year.
He's not going to get that.
No,
for sure.
No.
I mean, he definitely proved his worth when he went to the Rams, won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And went on that run, but thinking he's going to get $20 million a year. Nah.
Yeah, that's reaching. I mean, if he does, man, congratulations to his agent for like negotiating that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm calling that agent. I don't know for what, but like, no, just sign me up too for something, anything. I don't know. If you guys had to each just give me one top, who you think the most dramatic player in the NFL is?
Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to count him, I mean, it's him.
On and off the field. Antonio Brown.
Yeah. In all aspects here. In all aspects. Yeah.
We go 6 or 7 days of that nonsense at a time with him.
Yeah, it's always something. It's always something with Aaron Rodgers, too. He might be my number 2.
No, OJ would be number 2. OJ Simpson.
Well, yeah.
But as long as Aaron Rodgers goes into his dark hole.
Yeah, man. He takes some ayahuasca and go into a cave for about 4 days.
It smells terrible in that hole he's in. I mean,
for
3 days.
I think he had a toilet in there, they said. He had a toilet and he had a bed. So
And he came back still Aaron Rodgers. Came back still being the same guy. He's still the same guy. It didn't help him. There was no retreat.
So the census is it just didn't help him at all. Like he just likes to trip balls. So let's just
Let's just say where it is, right?
Right. It was funny. Somebody had me credit. They said you got so much money. Why did you have to go to somewhere like a cave? You could have just went to a hotel, a secluded hotel, and stayed in the room with the lights off.
Yeah.
You would have been right in the hotel. Like,
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like,
he doesn't have a finished basement. You could have just sat in for the 2 days. Like,
yeah, but Courtney, there's so many distractions at a hotel because then you got the bar downstairs.
Yeah, true.
You know, and a hole where you can just go in. There's no distractions.
just go in a hole, trip balls, and come out the same exact person that you were.
Yep. Lick a couple of magic toads, drink your ayahuasca, and you're good to go.
He said he was going to record it, and like this, I got to see. I
got to see that too. That should come out. That, you know what, Pat McAfee should just premiere.
Yeah, McAfee.
McAfee should be like,
yes.
Yeah. No, he definitely should. All right, guys, before we get out of here, Evan, tell everybody where they can find you. I know you are a freelance podcaster now. So
actually, I just premiered my new baseball show, the Rays Rewind podcast, which focus primarily on the Tampa Bay Rays, and we talk about baseball too. So it's every week. So I drop new episodes on Tuesdays. So just check that out. It's on Channel Side Sports, and you can follow me on Twitter at the L Bushman.
Yeah, so he'll tell you all the players that are going to the XFL and give you a hard time about
they are going to go to the XFL.
And if you ever do a show with him, he will give you a hard time every week about your picks. Yes, he will. Yes, Courtney, where can everybody find you, my friend?
You can find me on at Get the Real Deal on all social media, podcast platforms. We're on Roku, BS3 TV. We're everywhere: Spotify, Google, Apple. So Get the Real Deal. I always say Google Courtney Arden, Real Deal with Courtney Arden. You find all the episodes there.
Are we all just at that point? Google me, right?
Google me. So much easier. It's so much easier.
Just Google me. Yes. Spartan, what's going on for the draft show?
For the draft show tomorrow night, we are covering linebackers, me, Zane, and the Truth, and we are going to break them down. And I got to see about times because MSU, of course, plays tomorrow at 7:00. So 5:15, but yeah.
Well, if you need a free agent podcaster, somebody jump in. We got a couple people available here. I'm sure they love to talk about Giants linebackers.
Right. So excited.
Exciting. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. This is a wrap on episode 12 already of Rush Hour. Appreciate all the fans watching. We will be back next week with I don't know who, because it's a revolving door and it's Nikki and friends, and we will see what happens. But you guys asked for Spartan Mush. You got Spartan Mush. You guys asked for Evan. You got Evan, brought Courtney along to celebrate my 3 years in podcasting. Yes. I appreciate all of you, and I am looking forward to 3 more years. Word. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Peace.
Take care,
Bye.
Thanks.